old are you and what grade are you in?
I'm 18 and a senior.
Do you identify with having a specific mental illness?
Yes, I have generalized anxiety disorder, and I used to suffer from insomnia and depression.
Did you feel informed about what resources were available when you first realized?
I felt a huge pressure to bottle up what I was experiencing as to not burden anyone, even though that did the opposite of what I wanted by making my issues worse. If I had better resources telling me to get help immediately, I'm sure it would have been better and I could have healed faster. Once I did ask for help, there was a ton of resources at my fingertips, so yes and no.
Have you ever been to therapy?
Yes, I've been to many different therapists.
Did therapy help you? If so, how?
Therapy has helped me a ton. It took a lot of time to find the right one, but once I did, it's been a game changer.
What led up to you seeking help or going to therapy?
Well, after my diagnosis, I was given medicine and referred to a therapist. The hardest part was asking for help. I had many friends going through similar things, and a lot of them relied on me as their rock. I knew how saddening and depressing it can be to watch people you love going through that. I didn't want my own family and friends to have to go through the same thing.
Usually when people find out about your mental illness, do they treat you differently?
Yeah, there's definitely a feeling of pity and sensitivity that I get when I tell people. However, anxiety and insomnia and depression are fairly common, especially among high school students. So if I had a less normalized disorder, I'm sure I would feel much more stigmatized.
How does that affect your feelings towards your anxiety?
It doesn't make me feel too differently about my anxiety. I've sort of accepted at this point, and how other people perceive it doesn't get to me.
What is your sexual orientation?
I'm not sure honestly right now. I vaguely identify somewhere between straight and bi. I do identify as monogamous for sure though.
How do you think that this has affected your mental health?
Right now it doesn't because I'm in a long-term relationship, but once I go to college and I have to face it clearer, I know it'll cause some anxiety.
How, if at all, were or are your grades affected when your mental illness gets bad?
Oh god, they've completely gone downhill. My motivation goes to an all-time low when I get depressed, and it's really difficult to care about anything when I'm in that state.
Have you ever reached out to someone at school about your mental health?
Yes, I've reached out to the mental health counselors at Hale as well as 2 of my teachers.
Did they help you in any way?
It made a difference knowing that there were people at my school who understood what I was going through.
How would you describe your relationship with your body?
Bittersweet. It's been a long journey to self-love.
Does your self-confidence get in the way of maintaining a healthy mindset?
Yes, it can be hard to believe that I deserve or am worthy of healthy habits.
Does your mental illness stop you from doing everyday activities that you normally would be able to do or enjoy?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when I'm feeling depressed, it's a struggle to even get out of bed in the morning. And anxiety interferes with almost everything I do publicly.
Have you ever used prescribed medication for your mental illness?
Yes, I'm on the highest dose of citalopram one can acquire.
What is your relationship with drugs and alcohol?
It has been an up and down relationship, but I found a stable place with my consumption of it. There have been moments of close to addiction where I've had to stop myself from using, or traumatic events occurring as a result of use. Now I recreationally smoke marijuana to help me sleep and become less anxious, and I recreationally socially drink.
Do you think that exercise helps your mental state?
When I was extremely unstable, I didn't. But now that I'm in a better place mentally, I definitely feel the benefits of exercise. The extra endorphins seriously help.
Have you ever self-harmed?
Yes, I cut myself for about 3 years.
Have you ever been to the hospital relating to your mental illness?
I did not visit a hospital in an emergency fashion, but I visited for therapy regarding insomnia and depression.
How would you say being in the hospital helped you, if at all?
Children's is a spectacular hospital, so I was lucky for that the treatment was pretty good. Looking back, the therapy didn't help me very much, and I've heard some pretty terrible things about mental health hospitals, and when comparing that to my experiences, I had a peachy keen time.
What What are some coping strategies that you use that help you?
There's a lot. Talking to people. I can't stress that one enough. Talking to professionals about your problems, as well as family if they're supportive, and amigos, and even teachers or other mentors. It's amazing how many people can relate to you that you didn't know about. When my mental health got in the way of my attendance at school, a teacher of mine reached out and opened up to me about his own struggles that were incredibly similar, and I would have never guessed. Prioritize your health, because if it deteriorates, so does everything you were putting before it. You are far from alone in this, and there are supportive systems near you. Don't be afraid to reach out.